The following video is a Dennis the Menace production. Dennis the Menace, this name will never stick. On this episode of Is That Going to Be on the Exam, we look at ports and connectors. Before we look at specific examples of ports and connectors, we have to first look at what are ports and connectors. Ports and connectors allow for input, output, storage, and networking devices to all be able to be linked together through the use of ports and connectors. There are many advantages of using ports and connectors, such as the fact that it allows for many hardware devices to be not installed, but connected to many different devices, as well, which also saves money for both the user and companies that create all the hardware and software. Alright, so now we're going to look at specific examples of types of ports and connectors. There's several different kinds, and they all have varying uses, and some of them could be considered legacy systems since they've been kind of phased out by newer systems, but each of them are very important in their own ways and have their own special purposes. So for instance, the first one we're going to look at is VGA. Actually, this is the one we used in class when we were doing our PowerPoint projects, when we had to plug our laptop into the smartboard. Because VGA is a type of connector that allows a standard monitor to be connected to a computer or game console. So the standard monitor would of course be the smartboard in the example that I was given, and then the computer is our laptop. It allows sharing screen and information to occur really quickly and easily. So that's kind of cool that we kind of get the hands-on use of that one in class and we know what it's used for. Alright, so the next example of a port connector we're going to look at is DVI. DVI stands for Digital Video Interface, and the newer model of this is HDMI, which we might all be a little bit more well knowing of. HDMI stands for High Definition Media Interface, and we kind of use that all over today with our high definition TVs and everything. So that's kind of maybe more common than DVI nowadays, but each of these allow for the connection of digital displays and digital video sources. And they work really well with high definition quality videos and everything. Obviously HDMI, it has high definition in the name, but DVI is also able to handle high definition quality. So those are kind of very important ports and connectors in today's society. A third type of port and connector that's available are SATA or eSATA. These are used to connect hard disk, DVD, and Blu-ray players. eSATA is also then used to connect to external devices such as backup drives. So if you're maybe wanting to save a hard disk onto a backup drive, you would use eSATA. But they're very important for playing videos and everything and transferring information. So once again, another important example that many of us have probably used in our lives while watching videos or some movies and everything, which are very common. Okay, so much like SATA and eSATA, IDE is another type of port connector that connects hard disk to CD and DVD drives. IDE is a much older and slower model, so it's kind of being phased out by the SATA and eSATA ports and connectors that we've seen lately. So it might be considered a legacy system, and as we learned earlier, legacy systems are systems that don't necessarily not work, they're just being old and might not be as reliable or fast as newer technology, but they're still able to work and could be implemented by different companies. So that's an IDE connector. Alright, now we're to one of the most, if not the most common connector, USB. USB stands for Universal Serial Bus, and USBs connect a large variety of peripherals to a computer. These peripherals could include mice, keyboards. Well, when I say keyboards, I mean wireless keyboards, maybe not necessarily something that comes with the computer, but you connect a wireless mouse or a wireless keyboard via USB connection. And many other things that are very useful in computers nowadays, and that's all used through USB. We also all know flash drives and everything which implement USB ports, so those are very important in today's technological society. Okay, so Firewire is very similar to USB. It's a high-speed interface that also allows for connection of multiple peripherals to a computer, such as digital cameras or scanners or something. Firewire is not as common as USB, however it does allow for a faster transfer, so it's kind of interesting to see that although Firewire allows it to be faster, USB is more common. But they're very similar and allow for the same types of peripherals to be connected to a computer. Alright, next we're going to look at Ethernet connectors. Ethernet is probably the most common, besides USB, of the connector types. It's found on almost every computer possible. It is the standard for wired internet connection. So before all this wireless connection to the internet and Wi-Fi and everything, there was Ethernet, which was the wired connection to the internet. And that's why many computers have the availability of Ethernet ports. So in case Wi-Fi goes out or you're in a location that doesn't offer Wi-Fi, you're still able to get access to the internet via the Ethernet cord. Alright, and the final port and connector we're going to look at is PS2. It is the old standard for connecting peripherals such as mice. So much like Firewire and USB, it connects peripherals to a computer. However, it was kind of phased out by USB and Firewire, so it's not as prominent anymore, which is interesting to look at. And those are all the important connectors and ports that we're going to be looking at today. And these are the sources I used to gather information for this PowerPoint. Thank you very much for watching another Dennis the Menace production video. Dennis the Menace Productions. I can't believe that name stuck.